Okay, I'm here with George Barda, who's one of the Occupy London protesters who's been camping out here for many weeks. How was today for you? Did you go on the march?
I did. I think the jury is out in terms of the effect of today, because I'm not sure how it's gonna end up. But yeah, I was on the march earlier. I went to a bit of the teach out at Russell Square before it started, and it's just inspiring to see the students back on the street. My fervent hope is that the involvement of students does lead to all sorts of occupations of universities. That would be my personal dream, because I think we really need students to be with us. And I think, by the way, that's one of the many kinds of things that students have been very important for historically, that's ignored in this current debate. This sort of economisation of what it is to be a student. Unless your degree is worth however many pounds in terms of the increase in GDP, then somehow your education isn't worth it. And certainly my experience of university was that it allowed me to open my eyes to the terrible stuff that's going on in the world and to the possibilities of doing something about it. And so there is a sort of a union in the various factors.
And what's the atmosphere been like here today? We've seen Billy Bragg has been on the stage. There's been a really kind of folk festival atmosphere.
Yeah, no, it's been wonderful. I mean, I feel almost guilty because I escaped the kettle over a spiky fence. The police were squeezing people in between Holborn and Fleet Street on one side. And this, by the way, for anyone who doesn't go on protest, what they do every time there's a major protest, they'll just split people off into little groups. They'll say obviously to manage crowds, but one of the effects that has is that you can never actually show to the world, the number of people that are actually united in common cause. And I think that's something worth.
And above us, we can still hear the helicopters kind of whizzing around as things are happening in other parts of the city. But you're happy with how Occupy is going and the general status quo now at the camp here?
I think it's a very interesting phase for where we're at. Events like today with all these wonderful people sort of inspiring us from over the decades, I think it's absolutely great. But where we're going from here is very interesting. I think there's all sorts of interesting discussion about what kind of demands we might want to make. I think there's a strong feeling around questions for the nation, because I think that would be really good, and that would very accurately reflect what people here are focusing on, i.e. the need to get people talking about the things that they already agree on. This is the only obstacle we have at the moment to making very systematic change is getting together the tens of millions of people that agree that this insane level of social and economic inequality is not right, that we can do something about it, but we need to start having this conversation about how we can do that together and really bring together different groups of people that are all concerned about the same thing.
Lovely, thank you very much.